responsibility is managing multi-client portfolio deals with fairly large to mid-sized vendors. So creating the opportunity for all of our clients to activate against one set of rates, one set of research, et cetera, really to benefit both the agency and all of the clients. It's really mainly on the media side, so not so much the technology. An example, Hulu 4 or 5 years ago, when they came out in the marketplace, we actually did a program with them pre-beta. So, set rates, set the overall parameters of the deal, and then, went to all of our clients and said, here's an opportunity. Came back with, a fairly significant amount of money at them for that point, and have renewed that relationship for really the past 5 years. So the idea is find best-in-breed vendors for each type of property. A lot of it has been focused on video and cross-platform, but social is part of it, display, search, really any vendor, and leverage our clout in the marketplace to find something great for all of our clients. I think it's interesting, the video space, and I think there's really two answers to that question. One is in terms of how video is being sold. And because I do a lot of stuff cross-platform and deal with the national broadcast guys, 3 years ago it was fairly easy. One ad model, one way to buy it, pre-roll, mid-roll, you own the whole space, one CPM. In the past couple of years, you've gone from that to a TV everywhere model, which Turner and a lot of other folks are selling at this point, and they're really selling straight on a broadcast model and GRPs. You have Fox and CW who do convergence, so you are buying on a digital model, but you're buying it with your TV. And then the third is the sort of standard model that was alive 3 years ago, pre-roll, mid-roll, end roll. And I think that what you're really seeing is no one really knows exactly how to sell it right now, and I don't think there's a winner or a loser in terms of what the model is. I think everyone's just really trying to figure it out at this point.
So there's still a lot of experimentation. Mm-hmm. So when Hulu's pitching you, Funny or Die's pitching you, NBC's pitching you mm-hmm. specific or Bravo, let's say. Are they all sort of pitching you? In the old broadcast world, to your point, it's GRPs. Everybody knows how to buy it. Everybody knows how to sell it. You're saying in sort of this cross-platform world, it's sort of like a Wild West of there's no standard.
There isn't really any standard at this point. Again, there was a divergence of this is broadcast and we're going to sell on GRPs, and this is digital and we're going to sell on impressions, and that's sort of the way the marketplace worked even 2 to 3 years ago. So there were two separate standards. Now, part of my job is bringing those standards together and doing cross-platform deals, but really in the past 2 years, it's gotten more murky, so that rather than two divergent standards, it's a continuum from GRPs sold on the standard broadcast model, with TV everywhere and some of the convergence stuff on Fox and CW, down to just what is the standard digital model of impressions. And I really think that is going to continue to play out over the next 4 or 5 years as to what model, quote unquote, wins. You have one side, what the industry's been doing for 20 or 30 years, who says, buy GRPs, buy audience, and that sort of, it dumbs down a little bit what we've been doing in digital. And you have the flip side of the coin, and I think that I fall further towards that side that says eventually all video is going to be purchased digitally. There's no reason that technologically anyway that you could not ad serve television at this point. And I think that's the direction it'll go in. But it's something that's still open for debate, and probably over the next 4 or 5 years is going to continue to be an issue that we face.
If somebody from Blip TV, Funny or Die, Hulu, any one of those sort of online platforms was watching this, what's one thing that's inhibiting you from recommending your clients to spend more money in those channels?
The one thing that's preventing clients from spending more money in video channels I it's an old way of thinking, I would say. I don't think that everyone is completely comfortable with online video at this point. I think that a lot of folks hold on to that standard broadcast model of I just want to buy GRPs, I just want to buy audience. And I think it's going to take a while, honestly, for folks at agencies as well as clients to catch up and realize that there is a new model. So,
but actually that's interesting because it seems like you're placing more of the blame on the brands and the agencies than the Hulus and the Blips of the world, who probably agree with you, like, yes, we don't want to be judged that way, we'd like to do it a little differently.
Yeah, I think that it really is, it comes to that dichotomy I was pointing at before of, there are some folks just selling on GRPs and, going into that sort of, or staying with an older model and what is emerging in digital in terms of the way that they're selling. And vendors really have two choices. They can, go to an old model and just try to sell GRPs, and likely they will get more money in the short term, or they can continue to sell digitally. And I think that, I would recommend they stay on the second, and because I do think that that's the long-term future of the medium. It's not just going to be GRPs. So yeah, I would say at this point, it's more about clients and agencies learning how to purchase video digitally versus the vendors converting to an older model. Not just brands, but people in general. Everyone now is a content producer. And I think that the one thing that when we talk to our clients about it and we really focus on is that the most important thing is how good the content is. Anything from your 30-second spot on air to the content you're producing exclusively for the web or something that couldn't go cross-platform, not only does it have to be informative and entertaining, you have to be able to grab the consumer and bring them in. So a lot of brands, none that I work with, but we'll just produce content, put it out there, and hope that people come. Whereas our recommendation is take the time on the content, make it entertaining, make it informative, and then, to be quite honest, you have to promote it. Everyone talks about the viral video. Well, yes, there are a few videos that go viral, and very few of them are produced by brands. You can look at Old Spice and you can look at a few other brands who, again, took a good look at the content and really focused on it and did a good job. But unless you promote something, you're not going to get that quote-unquote viral effect. If you look at a TV show, if you look at a movie, really anything entertainment-based, they would never go anywhere, A, without good content, but B, without promotion.
So how are you proposing that Lowe's, as an example, promotes the content they produce? Like, is it a pay media strategy, and then what is that strategy?
I mean, I think part of it is social. Most of the brands I work with, including Lowe's, have large followings on Facebook, on Twitter. So, you have to go out there and use that social medium, not necessarily for quote-unquote advertising, but more for promotion of what you're doing with your content. Search is part of the strategy. Display can be part of the strategy. Again, if your content is good enough, you really have to use almost everything at your disposal to promote it.
As we look forward to 2012, what do you think are going to be some of the emerging trends that at the end of the year you'll be looking back on and saying, we started doing this, we never did that before with our clients?
Yeah, and I think it's kind of interesting because in the cases that I've been reviewing, what I've seen versus some of the older cases, and this is the first year I'm doing FEs, but I've judged cases before, is now social is a given, online is a given, and really every case is 360, which wouldn't have been the case 2 to 3 years ago, where it was more focused on just TV or just print or just online. It's now 360, and I think that more than any one thing, social, video, I think that what you're going to see is more and more convergence. I think that 360, while it's there now, I think it's going to be a given, so that marketing strategies have to live from top to bottom, from awareness to really business goals, and you're going to see all mediums used to do it. Yeah, in terms of metrics, it's actually, it has shifted in the digital space anyway, away from some of the more direct metrics. Now again, you know, this is client by client, and everything we do and the metrics we develop are based on that client's business goal. But I think whereas a couple of years ago you might have seen someone said, you know, I got this many you know, clicks, I got this many people to my website, I got this many people to view a video, and some of those smaller micro metrics, I think that you're seeing brands move away from that to more top level metrics, especially for digital. And what I mean by that is brand awareness, campaign awareness, you know, brand favorability, purchase intent, and even down to the level of products purchased, but from a macro level versus the micro level that I think that a lot of folks are used to seeing in digital.
Does that mean that we'll sort of, you know, if you think of attribution, we'll sort of get away from search getting such the lion's share of sort of kudos for success in advertising and marketing?
Yeah, and I think last click attribution is definitely something that is somewhat concerning. I think that, you know, search it's a great vehicle, and I think that it is that, you know, that last piece in the process of, you know, someone has seen your TV ad, someone has watched your video online, and then they go to search and click on it, and maybe they buy it right there. And I think that we've given probably too much importance to that last click. So I think that what we've seen from our marketers is rather than just judge search in a silo, that they're looking at the whole process before someone has purchased a product.